So you got 10 purposes for the planning and zoning laws of Costilla County. You got 10 purposes. You got some general purposes. You also got the comprehensive plan of Costilla County. So the land use code is just the comprehensive plan. They did the comprehensive plan first, and then they did the land use code. So this has been in the development for 24 years now. The comprehensive plan was 1999 is when they came up with that. And then the land use code, I want to say 2013, I'm not for sure. The purposes of planning and zoning for Costilla County is to encourage innovations, to promote the economic well-being of the community, to provide for the orderly development of the county, to encourage innovations in residential, commercial, and industrial development to meet the growing demands of the population through a greater variety and type, design, and layout of development. Simplify land use planning and regulatory review process to simplify, expedite, and provide uniform application. The land use planning and regulatory review process. To regulate the land use based on impacts, to protect the environment, environmental resources, to protect the quality of life, to protect and enhance agriculture and the rural character, to fulfill the comprehensive plan of Costilla County, and to protect property rights. The authority and jurisdiction, they have a whole bunch of enabling legislation here. Title 16, Article 13, Title 24, Costilla County Comprehensive Plan adopted in 1999. The Costilla County Road Standards amended January 6, 2004 pursuant to Resolution Number 012004. All other powers authorized by statute or by common law for the regulation of land uses, land development, and the power to abate nuisances. Jurisdiction. This land use code shall apply to all land within the unincorporated areas of Costilla County. No land shall be offered for sale, exchange, lease, or development, and no building, structure, or land shall be used or occupied except in conformance with this land use code. Well, that's pretty clear, cut, and dry. Structures and uses existing on the effective date of this code shall be permitted to continue subject to the provisions of Article 6 nonconformities. Section 1.40 permit required land use permits. Any change in land use, unless expressly exempt from permit requirements in Section 1.40.J, shall obtain a land use permit before commencing the development or activity associated with the land use change. A. Levels of permit review. Land use permits may be subject to one of the following levels of review. 1. Administrative zoning review. 2. Limited impact review. 3. Special use review. 4. Rezoning. 5. 1041 review. Administrative zoning review. Certain land use changes require a minimal level of reviewing, can be reviewed administratively as a zoning review in accordance with Article 6, Sections 6.20 and 6.30C. Limited impact review. Certain land use changes, because of their nature or location, will have the potential to cause impacts that warrant review by the Planning Commission in accordance with Article 6, Sections 6.20, 6.30B. Special use review. Certain land use changes, because of their intensity or location, will have the potential to cause significant impacts that warrant review by the Board of County Commissioners in accordance with Article 6, Section 6.20 and 6.30A. Rezoning. Certain land use changes may require a zone change as described in Article 6 in order for a land use permit to be issued under the provisions of this code. 1041 review. Certain land use changes, because of their intensity or location, will have the potential to cause significant impacts. Apply to all matters of state interest designated by the county, whether located on private or public land within the unincorporated areas of Costilla County. Warrant review by the Board of County Commissioners. B. Application. An application for land use permit shall be filed with the Costilla County Planning and Zoning Department. All land use permits shall include a site plan showing existing conditions and the proposed improvements that are the subject of the application unless specifically waived by the land use administrator. My application to the Costilla County Planning and Zoning Office was like 20 pages long, but that's because I was covering a whole bunch of different things. When they wanted a septic tank, okay, but I want to break down the septic tank. What are we breaking down the septic tank? I have one person. How big of a septic tank do I need? And then I could only buy a septic tank that was on their approved list of septic tanks. So even if I was to get one from some place, it had to be approved. So it has to be, I guess, FDIC approved. The feds have to say that it's A-OK. I ordered one from Pueblo, and then they drove it all the way down here. It was expensive, and it took a lot of time. I also had to, when I was digging the hole in the soil sample, I had to do that shit by hand. It took me like 3 or 4 times. I was living in an RV park, so I'd have to drive out there. And then the dig, whether the weather conditions were permitting or not. Dig. And so it's easier to dig with water, but anyways. An application for land use permit shall be filed with the Costilla County Planning and Zoning Department. All land use permits shall include a site plan. So 20 pages. I went ahead and, well, it sucks because if I would have gone out there with just $1,000, I would have built a little, a house that at least it would have been warm enough. I've never had a completed house, a warm, level, completed, safe house. A day in my life. Not a day in my life have I ever had a warm, safe, and completed house. So instead of using my money and time to get the lumber and complete my house, I wasted on these permits. And then when I wasted all the money on the permits, I was worried about, it was the RV permit. So every 3 fucking months, $350 more. And then the building permits are time limited. So I had to hurry up and build. But then I was getting harassed by, Phil Greeny and Robert Pickrell and Noah Spalding. They're just fucking harassing the shit out of me, not letting me goddamn live my life. And why are they harassing me? Because they're not in compliance with planning and zoning. They haven't paid for any of their fucking permits. Bunch of right-wing terrorist, criminal fucking sovereign piles of shit. Well, that's not fair. Because I paid for my permits and they're a bunch of criminal fucks. They came in illegally and then they keep on doing all these illegal fucking crimes over and over again. I'm supposed to what? Say thank you? That's fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. Yeah, I need to live my life. No, I need to be able to go to the grocery store, go to my job, go to the business, make some money and come back and everything is in one place. You can't do that in Costilla County, not by the Labata Bridge, not next to Robert Pickrell, not next to Phil Greeny. Not next to Jacqueline Mitchell. They were the fucking culprits. They were doing drive-bys every other goddamn day, doing some stupid shit, back and forth, revving their fucking engines. Drive-by shootings. There was drive-by shootings too. Because I'm setting a good example. And then what do Christians say? They say, turn the other cheek until what? Until there's nothing left. So yeah, because I went ahead and did the damn site plan, I showed the impact. I went ahead and drew up my fucking house. And it wasn't a dream house. It was just going to be a 2-story house. That's it. Just a little 2-story house. I was thinking about my daughter coming down the stairs, going to prom. Her prom date's waiting for her, and that's what fueled me to keep on building my house out there. But then eventually, the shit piled up too much. Now when I think of Costilla County, now I just see Robert Pickrell fucking with my kids and fucking with them and shoving green beans up and nobody's saying anything. And I went ahead and I told him not to do it. I videotaped it. I went ahead and filed I did all this shit that's perfectly, filed the motion, filed the fucking thing. But the moment I went to, push him off of my kids and he lied about it and he said that I just pushed him for no fucking reason and then they just believed him because fuck me, right? Now when I think about Costilla County, I just see Robert Pickrell raping the shit out of my, I don't have any kids right now, but my future daughter, Oksana. Before I was seeing her walk down the steps, and so I kept on working hard in spite of all the struggle and all the bullshit. Now I just see Robert Pickerel going up to the. I'm not there. I'm not allowed to fucking build a fucking house. Why? Because I'm not a right-wing sovereign piece of shit like them. They go in there. They're a bunch of fucking criminal terrorist pieces of shit. They don't want to abide by the fucking laws. And is that a big shocker? They don't have any morals. They don't have any ethics. And they don't abide by the law. They have no idea why there's a land use. There's reasons behind all this stuff. And if you balance it all out, it should make sense. You don't want to bankrupt somebody, but you don't want a bunch of shit just coming in, committing a bunch of fucking crimes either. So it sucks. If I didn't have to, come up with a plan for my house, I probably would have, made a smaller house, just a house so I could fucking live in it. But since they wanted me to do the planning, and I think it's, good and bad. If I'm able to complete my house, then it'll turn out, it was all for good, right? It was all for good. And I was actually saying that I would show mercy if my, house was still standing, and it is still standing. My half a house. And so if I could complete my half a house, that'd be nice. But I wasted all that fucking time paying all them fucking goddamn permits. I wasted all that fucking money. And then because these bitch-ass criminal motherfuckers keep on doing all this shit around my house, I'm not doing anything. I'm just holding my fort down. And they're not letting me. I can. Even if I was Elon Musk and wanted to start goddamn Tesla, I wouldn't be allowed to. I wouldn't be allowed to go drive down the fucking road and build a fucking factory because I would come back and them motherfuckers would be in my shit. They're criminal motherfuckers. So I would like for people when they move into Costilla County to buy a road access permit and buy a septic tank permit and get a septic tank in it right away. That shows good faith. That shows that you're not coming in here just wanting to commit a bunch of fucking crimes. And then leave the people alone for a year. Leave them alone for a year. Okay? They went ahead and got the septic tank. That was a lot of fucking money. Let them build their fucking house. And then definitely get them police protection. What's the point? There's definitely a difference between somebody who says, okay, planning and zoning, they're upright, they're up front. What do I need to do? I want to do a nice 10-step plan, get the occupancy permit, and get my house up and running. What do I need to do? There's a difference between somebody who walks into planning and zoning and says, what do I need to do? Versus somebody that says, fuck you, planning and zoning. Just like Aiden Heckerman and Robert Pickerel and Noah Spalding, they walk into Costilla County and they say, fuck you, planning and zoning, and fuck everybody in the neighborhood who's abiding by planning and zoning, especially 6-foot-tall one people who read the law and has a gate. He's got a gate. He's setting a good example. What an asshole. And you're a criminal piece of shit, so goddamn, goodness would look fucking crazy to you. What's your philosophy for goodness? You got one? Yeah, because you're not a good person. So because I did the thing right, I built a house that was a 2-story house. It's not the biggest house in the fucking world. People, is that a Tower of Babel? I guess when you're used to a bunch of white trash piles of shit, somebody actually, constructing a decent house freaks you the fuck out. But there's at least that one brick house over there. There's one decent house over there. People are just a bunch of haters, jealous, fucking criminal terrorist piles of shit. Yeah, I don't believe in abusing children. I'm not a racist pile of shit. And I believe in the orderly development of planning and zoning. So all land use permits shall include a site plan showing existing conditions and the proposed improvements that are the subject of the application unless specifically waived by the land use administrator. Permits run with the land. Any land use permit shall be binding upon and run with the land. I remember when I first came to San Luis Valley, I'm like, I got to write down every word. I got to know every law. My God. No, I'm not going to be like those motherfuckers that was over there. No fucking way. Going to be different. The guy was fucking with me, acting like I can't stay at the RV park. And then I went to the next RV park. I had that first fucking piece of shit. When my mom called, he's fucking selling her water for $10. Everybody's a bunch of dickheads, about fucking water around here. But apparently that guy, he just $10. Just, go to his fucking river, go to the Conejos County River, put your thing in your water pump, fill your tank up, $10 fucking dollars. Wow, that's fucking nice as shit. But then I pull up and I'm a man, so therefore he treats me differently. Well, he's scared the shit out of me. I'm thinking he's gonna fuck with me until he kicks me out. Motherfucker, I just drove from fucking Pueblo, you piece of shit. Now you're telling me I can't even fucking stay here? He wanted me to make sure I take my little fucking... I had my car right behind me. Make sure I take that little U-Haul trailer back to the trailer thing, even though my RV was barely putt-putting. Yeah, it's about to fucking die, but I'll go ahead and do that for you, Mr. fucking dickhead piece of shit. But I'm just sitting there reading the laws, you know. I got fucking 87 pages to read and 87 pages of land use code and then 52 pages of this comprehensive plan to read. So I'm going to read it. I'm not no fucking, you know... I'm the anti-Xanus. Term of the land use permits is 1 year for a single family dwelling. So term of the land use permits is 1 year. That's the term. Well, the RV fucking permits and the building permits wasn't for... It was like for 3 months or something. So right around the corner, it was like I got to hurry up and build. And as long as there's progress... Man, I was putting a lot of fucking pressure on myself, and it turns out none of the cops give a shit about planning and zoning, none of the clerks, none of the judges, nobody gives a shit about planning and zoning. So no wonder they got all the fucking crimes that they have. The only thing that planning and zoning is really, I don't know if they're not catching people, you know, not abiding by planning and zoning, but the people that walk in and try to be lawful, well, they have to keep on coming back in, and if they don't, then they're going to get fined. So the only people that's getting fucked by planning and zoning are the ones that are honest and upfront and I want upright and upfront people. I want honest, good people that walk into the county and say, okay, what do I need to do in order to make my house legal? The permits run with the land. Any land use permit shall be binding upon and run with the land. That's good. Once you buy your road access permit, you can always drive in. The motherfuckers, they killed my fucking dog and they drove into my damn driveway. How were they able to drive in their own fucking driveways without a road access permit? And they didn't pay for the permit, so how are they driving in my driveway? And then why don't the goddamn cops give a shit? Not only should the cops and planning and zoning, everybody should have been fucking A. This one's different. This one is setting a good example. And I didn't give a shit if other people are, you know, abiding by planning and zoning, but now I'm fucking pissed off about this shit. I had to abide by planning and zoning, so basically I was a sucker. I was a dumb bitch ass. If you go to Costilla County and you abide by the law, you're a dumb bitch ass sucker. Is that what you're saying, cops? Danny Sanchez? Is that what you're saying, judges and everybody? You're a goddamn sucker. That's bullshit. Permits run with the land. Not only should planning and zoning and the 3 county commissioners have these fucking laws, but the courts and the cops, they should be all in tandem with one another. Term of permits. Term of the land use permits is 1 year for a single family dwelling. Activity begun before permit issuance. No development for which a land use permit is required shall begin until the land use permit has been issued by the Costilla County. So you had Robert Pickerel. He moved in there, you know, after my puppy was fucking brutally fucking murdered. He drove in like a fucking asshole, like a criminal fucking perverted fucking asshole. He didn't pay for no damn permits, and then all of a sudden my puppy got murdered, and he's fucking right there? That's fucking weird. That's suspicious as fuck, isn't it? Is that just a coincidence? He's basically has his house. He developed his house. He got to have nice warm winters. He had a nice wood stove. I'm freezing fucking cold. Every fucking winter I had to stay under my goddamn covers because I never completed the house. I paid for the permits. I'm being harassed. I never got to complete my house. So I never got to live in a decent fucking safe house. My whole fucking life, 41 fucking years. A lot of white people are doing pretty good. Other motherfuckers want to see other people who's barely struggling, and you take what little bit that they fucking got away. Why would you do that, you pieces of shit? Them motherfuckers would steal tents from the homeless people and think that they did something good. That's all they had, you piece of shit. No development for which a land use permit is required shall begin until the land use permit has been issued by Costilla. So Robert Pickerel said, fuck you, Costilla County. Fuck your laws. Fuck Colorado. Fuck you, John Masters. You wasted all that time and money. I'm just going to build my house, and then I'm going to make it look like, I think he's got a septic out there. Is it the septic that he's supposed to have? I don't know. I bet it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is to get permission, right? So eventually when he has to square with the fucking planning and zoning, they'll probably be happy that he put out a damn septic. They hated that I, knew anything about planning and zoning. There's different people in the planning and zoning office now, but the people that was there 4 years ago, they hated that I was on the up and up and knew what I was supposed to do, and I paid for all my fucking permits. They made me pay for 3 fucking permits. Wasted what a little bit of money I had, didn't have enough money to fucking finish my fucking house, then I started getting harassed. Then I didn't leave my half a house. I didn't leave my half a house. I don't live there anymore, but for 2 fucking years, for a year and a half, I was a prisoner in my own fucking house. For what reason? I didn't go around doing anything to anybody, so because they're wicked pieces of shit, they don't like my good example because I'm kind. I said, hello, neighbor, and they were like, what? Why is he being kind to us? Because I was raised right. If the activity has begun before issuance of the permit by Costilla County, Robert Pickrell, pay attention. No land use permit shall be issued for the activity until the applicant ceases the activity. Remedies any damage caused and complies with all enforcement actions taken by Costilla County pursuant to Article 8 enforcement. Article 8 enforcement. Can they just take it down? If they put a structure up that was illegal, that structure needs to come back down, right? Article 8 enforcement. That's interesting. Let's get to Article 8 enforcement, huh? How are you supposed to enforce that planning and, if the damn sheriff, there's 3 branches of government, right? The 3 county commissioners are the executive and the legislative. The cops are supposed to be the executive, but I think the sheriff doesn't give a shit about the planning and zoning laws, and that's right-wing. How's that not right-wing sovereign? Planning and zoning laws are good laws. They might be petty, they might be a low priority, but they're good laws. So there's laws on the books, and you should be fucking happy when people come in and they want to fucking abide by your laws. Pay for your permits, abide by your laws. That's the kind of people you want in the community. Not pieces of shit, not a bunch of fucking Hell's Angels, a bunch of blood in, blood out Nazi fucking perverted motherfucking nozo, chomo, mofo, oppressor, molester, piles of shit. So we're going to take a look at Article 8 enforcement for what we're going to do with Robert Pickrell. And there's some other people that's out there too. There's like at least 7 properties that's not in compliance. That's a different. But, yeah, that doesn't reassure me of shit. When I told Noah that I had got abused, he was just licking his chops like he couldn't wait to abuse me the same way I had been abused. These people have no heartbeat. They have no ability to empathize. They're fucking psychos. He shot his fucking dog in the leg. The only thing Shakti liked, just pat her on the top of the head. Shakti was a great dog, but he wanted to possess her and own her. And then he said he left and then left her out in the cold, and then she froze to death. You think he feels bad about it? You think he shed a fucking tear for Shakti? And where'd they end up burying Shakti? Did they just get rid of the evidence? Or they give her a proper burial? Tecumseh and Shakti are the 2 best living creatures I've ever come across my entire life. But these pieces of shit motherfuckers, they move into Costilla County as a bunch of fucking criminal fucks, not abiding by any of the goddamn laws, and then they act a fucking fool. Big shocker. Big shocker. The pieces of shit that didn't pay for their fucking permits are the criminal fucking piles of shit. Big fucking shocker. I remember one guy, when I asked, I got a guy out there to my house to dig a hole. There used to be people that was driving out there. I stopped a couple people and they said they was looking for signs. So there's a lot of arsons and there's been like colonies out there that's been wiped out. Where is the Nasarima gone? Article 8 enforcement. We'll check out Article 8 enforcement. Because Robert Pickrell is a criminal piece of shit. Right-wing criminal piece of shit. I mean, let alone, who cares about lying? And, I think it's important not to lie and to vote and pay your taxes and pay for your permits. But I think he's a full-blown criminal fucking Nazi piece of shit. He went there to break the fucking laws, to break as many fucking laws as he possibly can break. I've witnessed many crimes that he's fucking goddamn committed against me. I cannot fucking get anybody to hear a goddamn word I'm saying. And since he's so fucking important, he said, fuck you, Costilla County. Fuck you, Sheriff. Fuck you, law fucking abiders. Fuck you, good people. He ordered a fucking part. That motherfucker's fucking with me too, who's driving around my house. And for the last 2 years, Robert Pickerel isn't even out there. So if it's not even important for him to live, this was an extra house for him. This is just an extra. He gets 3, 4, 5 fucking. He's a felon, a devil worshipping felon. That's who you guys. The mayor of Costilla County is Robert Pickerel. Even people that you would think that would be tougher, they're sitting there giving him a fucking rifle. Here you go, Robert Pickerel. Here's my rifle. I'll give you my family's rifle. Nick number 2 did that. Nick number 2 gave him a rifle. Robert Pickerel knows everybody. When he was there, it was a big fucking party all the time, and he's not going to show up for court. So it's real fucking smart. It's dumb to be lawful, but man, it's so brilliant to be a criminal piece of shit. You go into Costilla County, you don't pay for your permits, you harass the people that do, and then when the police get involved, well, you just stay inside your house. You stay inside your house, and then you move away for a year or two until the court settles down, and then, well, hell, you didn't properly do the subpoena. Oh, really? I got an article here that says Motts. Yeah, Jeffrey E. Motts. Paul E. Motts, Jeffrey E. Motts, attorneys for plaintiff. Who's the plaintiff? Hit their own corporation is Colorado Mountain Ranches Incorporated. Well, it looks to me like they're trying to take 14 different pieces of property. They're going to take 14 different pieces of property, and then they have a big paragraph here of names. Well, they don't want to sit there and write out each and every name and send out to each and every name and the address, and they don't want to do it right. You're trying to tell me that these motherfuckers are properly subpoenaing all these people's names? No, they're not. They're not properly subpoenaing jack fucking shit. They're a bunch of crooked motherfuckers, and it looks like they're taking land. They're taking people's land, and they're not even doing a subpoena. They're not handing a subpoena to any one of these people. They're not putting it in their hands. They're just saying, well, we send out some pieces of mail. We put it in the paper, this fucking local paper. A lot of these motherfuckers are absentee landlords. You're trying to tell me that all these people got a proper subpoena right into their fucking hands? Bullshit. When you're trying to subpoena, this is one process. You publish it in the paper. You send it out in the mail. You try to get a hold of them any way and every way that you can. You have a process server. That's one way. And hell, if they're just an honest person, I have to subpoena the arresting officers. Can't we just assume that the arresting officers would go to court? It was important enough for them to put their fucking hands on me and put me in fucking jail and make me post a fucking bond. They had long guns on me. They're getting all freaked out about a couple warning shots, but what if I would have just did what the cops did? Found 4 of my fucking buddies and then went and kidnapped dude and threw him in a jail and then took, $5,000 and said, I'm going to keep this money in my pocket until, the judge, this other fucking guy that I know that you don't know, says that it's, A-okay. They've been okay with that. In Colorado, I have a right to make a citizen's arrest. And that's wonderful, but you're going to have a witness or two because they're just going to fucking lie. They're just going to lie. Robert Pickerel committed crime after crime after crime. He never got arrested. They didn't even question him. No stakeouts, no stings. And then I noticed just now with the video where the guy over the thing was like, oh yeah, Robert Pickerel went ahead and confirmed that I was paranoid. That bitch-ass piece of shit is spotlighting my fucking dogs late at fucking night, driving by my fucking house, acting like a fucking fool, day in and day out. Day in and day out. Not one time did the cops ever fucking talk to him. Not one time did he ever go to goddamn court. So it's brilliant to be a criminal. It's brilliant to be a terrorist, criminal, sovereign piece of shit. But I'm tired of it. Anybody that's ever fucking did all the fucking things that they were supposed to do, they were nice, they were kind, they played by the fucking rules, and they still got fucked over, stand up. This shit's fucking for the fucking birds. You sit there and you paid for your damn permits just so Robert Pickerel could fucking rape the shit out of you and your wife and your kids and your goddamn, metaphorically speaking, but you motherfuckers never heard any fucking thing else I've ever said. You can't go around committing crimes against fucking people. But apparently if you're Robert Pickerel and you're motherfucking Costilla County, that's okay. You're on the side of devil worshippers. None of them can fucking arrest him. None of them can get an interview of him. He's the fucking most brilliant person. He's not brilliant. He's dumb. He's a dumb pile of shit. And he's a criminal fuck. And he brings nothing positive to the neighborhood. But that's the side you guys are on.